Hi Lovies! So yes, you can see I'm in my car. This is the week I have PSSAs with my daughter, and I told you I'd have to travel really far and like sit in my car while she takes these tests. So I thought I would make a story time video just because I have some time. So I thought I'd show you my view. This is my view, guys. What's that? Yes, that is a Hobby Lobby. And I am trying to be such a good girl and restrain myself and stay in this parking lot and not find myself in that parking lot. I'm doing my best. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but today I am really trying. Yeah, Hobby Lobby, plus Walmart and a whole bunch of other little stores. But I'm staying in the parking lot. Look, I was even a good girl. I brought a book, I have my blanket, I got my Bay Miller CD to jam out to. Like, I'm totally prepared just to sit here for 4 hours. I promise that I'm going to stay at a Hobby Lobby today. I have 3 more days of this. I'm not promising what tomorrow or the next day will bring. Today, I'm staying put. So I thought today I would share my I've seen angels story. As a young girl, I saw a lot of things. I have a lot of stories of like paranormal kind of stuff, if that's what you want to consider it, that happened to me as a young girl. And as I got older, it kind of increased, but like in a different way. But one of my first encounters, I would think, with a quote-unquote what I believe to be an angel was probably when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and my mom was going through a really rough time, and she was sitting in a rocker recliner, and she was crying, and I was heartbroken for her, just heartbroken. And I was brought up in the church, so I understood God and I understood prayer in my 10-year-old mind as best as I could. And underneath my breath, I just was like, God, please help my mommy. And that's about probably all I said. And I heard a noise, and I looked over to my mom, and there was a huge angel standing behind my mother, behind the chair. And he had his hands on her shoulder. He was huge, though. I couldn't see his face. It may sound weird, but I lived in a double-story house, so he kind of went like through the ceiling, so I couldn't see his face or the top part of him. I kind of saw from like below the collarbone kind of down, but I knew exactly what it was. I wasn't afraid. Actually, I had peace, I guess, is what the only word I can think of to describe that as. And I was shocked, but not shocked. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I wasn't screaming or being like, oh my God, Mom, or anything like that. I remember looking at it and like, oh, thank you, Lord, that's an angel. And very nonchalantly just going, hey, Mom, you know what? There's an angel standing behind you, and he has his arms on you. And my mom went, what'd you say? And I said, I'm telling you, Mom, there's an angel behind you, and he has his arms on you. And she smiled, in the motherly way, and was like, oh, thank you, baby. And she's like, oh, I feel better. But she did stop crying and stuff. And as an adult, I know that she was just appeasing my 10-year-old me. But I'm telling you, there was a real angel behind her. And that has stuck with me in my entire life. And it also gave me this, I don't know, it affirmed in me that there really are angels. There really is another realm. There really are other beings other than us. And I've always just been comfortable with that. And I've always just kind of accepted it. I don't know how else to explain it other than that, just because I saw something very young that didn't frighten me, didn't scare me. I knew why it was there. And it just kind of like affirmed within me that, yes, there's other beings, there's other realms, there's other things that are going on around us that have nothing to do with humanity, and I'm okay with that. I guess is the only kind of way I know how to explain it. It may sound odd, but that's just me. My books kind of deal with that. Behind the veil is how I see it. We as humans, in my personal opinion, these are just my opinions, we live with a veil over our face. We can only see into this realm. I believe there's many other, and that's like a veil over us. And I've always desired and longed to see behind that veil into other realms and things around us. And every once in a while, but I think because I am looking for it and I am so open to it, I get little glimpses. So that was like my first little encounter with an angel. I saw many things after that I'm not sure if they were angelic visitations or if they were other things. I'm not sure, but I know one other experience that I know absolutely positively for sure they were angels. I'm not the only one who witnessed it, and it was also documented in the newspaper. And at this time, I was still living in New Jersey, and we were attending a church, and we had like a little cell group going on. There was about 10 or 12 of us. I don't remember the exact numbers. It's been some time. I was like in my late 20s. And a prophet from Africa was coming in to minister to us and just talk to us about some things. And we actually weren't able to get into the church. So we decided to let him do his thing right in the church parking lot, that we would just be open and, just hear what he had to say, because he came all the way from Africa to talk to our specific like little cell group, and we wanted to honor him with that, but we couldn't get into the church, so we just set up camp, so to speak, in the parking lot. He began to talk to us, and his main focus was like an open heaven. And an open heaven just means that heaven is another realm. There's beings in that realm, and that heaven can come to earth. So he was just talking about those kinds of things. And out of like my peripheral vision, I just kept seeing something up above us. And I kept looking and looking and looking. And at first, I really did think that it was like a, I don't know how else to, like a spotlight. You know how like sometimes when there's like fairs or a big festival going on, they'll use them big spotlights and they'll turn them around and around and around so that cars know where to come in, or you can relate it to maybe like a lighthouse kind of light that goes like this. That's what I thought at first I was seeing, and then I really took a double look, and I'm like, no, those are angels. There's 4 angels. So I just like, it was just like a gut instinct. It was just like a gut reaction. While in the middle of he's talking, I just went, guys, there's angels above us. So everybody kind of looked up, and they were like, whoa, okay. First they were a little skeptical. They did the same thing. They were like, yeah, oh, yeah. And before you knew it, we were all like standing in a line, mouth open, just staring. And they were like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it was like a dance. 2 angels would come together like this, and then they would meet in the middle, and then it was like an explosion. And then the 2 from the other side would come down and kind of like meet in the middle and just like come out. It was beautiful. They did this for, I would say, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But as they were doing this, they were getting lower and lower and lower. And we were just standing there, like, in complete awe. And the only way I know how to explain it is another angel came out of, like, nowhere. Because as they were doing that, they were getting lower, but their circle was getting bigger. Like, they would come together and come out further, and then come together and then come out further. It was like they were making their circle wider and wider and wider. And then this other bigger angel came about 15 minutes in and kind of just hovered over there. And we knew at that moment that it was time to pray. And we did what we felt we needed to do at that time. And, we went home all amazed, thanking God, like, wow, what a sign. Like, wow, Lord, thank you so much. And things like that. And the following Sunday, someone from our group wanted to give the testimony at church that we saw angels, and it was in the church parking lot, and we felt like the angels were kind of like making a perimeter because we were praying a hedge of protection over the church, that nothing would come against the church and stuff. And that's how we felt. I don't know how else to explain it except for that. And somebody wanted to give that quote unquote testimony on Sunday. And as the testimony began to come forth, someone in the church totally interrupted and said, guys, this made the newspaper. Neighbors that are around the church called to say that there was something weird lights as they called them, in the sky. And a news reporter came out and actually interviewed those neighbors, not the church, but the people around our church, and documented it. And like, they took pictures and they put a picture in the paper, and they were calling it lights in the sky. But in my heart, I knew they were angels. So you could take that as you want. The paper called it lights in the skies, but we knew it was angels in our heart. And it totally confirmed to, like, I think there was 10 or 12 of us, that what we saw was legit, because not only did we see it, but the houses, the surrounding houses and neighborhoods of behind us, all around us, they saw the same thing and called somebody because they thought it was lights in the sky. So that was one of my big encounters with angels. And I have to tell you, that has stuck with me forever. And whenever I get discouraged, or I'm just like in a situation, for instance, like when my father died, or when I had to go through almost the same exact thing with my husband's mom, and you're like, God, where are you? I'm just going to share with you, I think about stuff like that. Like, God, I don't doubt that you're not real, because I've seen things in my heart of heart that I know make you real. And I think upon those kinds of things, and it just encourages me that God is there. I may not see him in this situation the way I want to, but he is there. And I don't want to preach at you or anything like that. It's how I feel. This is part of who I am. I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I just know in my heart of hearts that there is other expressions of God. He's in control of the entire universe, and I don't doubt for a second that there's other realms and other beings. And if you're trying to get to the point where you're going to ask me down in the comments, Missy, do you believe in aliens and things like that? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do believe in aliens, 100%. I've seen them. That's some of the other things that I saw as a young girl. But as I matured and got older, and I'm not a Bible scholar by any means. I don't have a diploma or anything like that. But I've been teaching Bible, the Word, whatever you want to call it, for quite some time. And I don't just mean like Sunday school, like Wednesday services. And I've had a couple ministries under my belt and things like that. I do know the Word. And as I began to study it, I learned that maybe aliens are not exactly what we think they are. They're aliens in the aspect that they're alien to this earth. They're from another realm. But do I think they're like little green boogeymen that run around and stuff? I don't. I don't think that. I have a totally different opinion of what quote unquote aliens are. It's just my opinion, and it's based off of certain scripture that comes from Genesis 6 in the Bible. But that's a whole nother story. I don't know if you guys be interested in that, because it's very biblical, but that's what I base it off of. But if you were to come right out and just like, do you believe in aliens? Yeah, I do. I believe in aliens. I just don't think they're the green men that we make them out to be. That's all. But that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But I do believe that we are not alone in this world. And that's just basically what it comes down to. I have some other angel stories, but I just wanted to share like my first one with you, and like one of my big ones that I know for sure I wasn't the only one who saw that. So there was like 12 of us, and it was documented in the paper. They just didn't call it angels. They called it lights in the sky. So I think that's where I'm just going to cut it off there. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. It's something very important to me. I don't know. It's who I am. It's because of these experiences. It's because of these types of experiences that I am the way that I am. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. I'm sure you guys have had experiences in your life that you just don't know how to put into words, but it was very real to you, and it definitely changed you. But when you go to open your mouth and tell somebody, it doesn't sound the way that you want it to sound, or the way it sounds like in your head, because in your head it sounds like logic and reality, but when you say it out loud, you're like, oh God, people are gonna think I'm nuts. If you think I'm crazy, then I'm crazy. But I'm not lying. I definitely experienced these things and some other stuff. So if you guys like my angel story, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And leave me some comments down below. I'm almost scared to tell you guys to leave me comments, but leave me comments down below. Tell me what you think of my angel story. If you're new to Do What You Love, I hope you subscribe and stick around. This is story time. I do a whole bunch of other things other than story time. Crafts and DIYs and happy planner and cooking and all kinds of stuff. This is just something new that I'm trying on my channel. And for all of my lovies, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll chit chat at you soon. Bye guys.